Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
And we are recording Friday, November 22nd, 2024. How are we doing today, Dad?
Good, man. It's almost Thanksgiving.
Yes, we're around the corner.
I'm officially off until after Thanksgiving now, so this is my vacation week.
Fantastic.
Do it every year. It's good times. I didn't have to go in today, so kind of extended it a day.
Nice.
Which is always nice. But
Definitely.
it's been busy. This week's been busy, so
yep.
I watched the game last night. You heard my frustrations just trying to watch
the Steelers,
a good game.
The Steelers,
I
Browns.
Just couldn't believe how bad both teams are, and I keep hearing how good these teams. Well, how good Pittsburgh is. It was bad.
And I know the weather plays a role, and I don't,
Well, except for the first half when it was beautiful.
It was actually fine, except for the snow. Yeah,
just horrible. I don't know.
I noticed you're growing it out a little bit right there.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it till now.
Yeah, we're going beard.
Okay,
nice, we're getting it on.
Awesome. Well, we're recording on Friday.
Santa look.
So coming out to you with a Saturday episode. So you'll be watching this when you're watching the Penn State game for all you Penn State fans. But going to be looking forward to this Eagles-Rams game coming up on Sunday. Let's get into that. So going to be the Sunday night football game. Played at 6:20 p.m., 8:20 back east for those of you watching back in the homeland in SoFi Stadium. So I know this is going to be
weather controlled
game. So what's your weather looking
They don't
like?
open it up. It's going to be about 60 degrees for those people that do travel out there. They might get some rain. They get a big rainstorm in the Northern California that's working its way down. So it's possible for those people that are going to tailgate and stuff, they might want to check the weather in the morning. But it's going to be, 60 and raining's not the best. So,
Definitely.
But at nighttime it's going to be in the 50s.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be chilly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Bring your jacket.
All-time record, we lead 23-20-1 against these Rams. In the last 25 years, we've got the lead. We're up 9-4 in the last 25 years. And in the last 10 games we've played them, we're 8-2. So we've really surprisingly kind of ran the table on them. I know the big one, of course, everyone notes is the 2017. Of course, the infamous game where we lost Carson Wentz, and of course that's kind of been the big thing going around.
Wentz lost his MVP.
Yeah, and we kind of remember like that as the when we play the Rams, you kind of think of that. But I looked back at that game. I went and watched the highlights of that game.
That was a great.
That's one of the greatest games ever.
It was a great.
I mean,
game.
it's one of the. It's like overshadowed because of the darkness it cast on Wentz and his career.
No,
but
it was great.
My God, that's one of the greatest games ever played.
It had everything, and then when Foles came in and he started hitting what's our big
Aguilar and Alshon.
Alshon with those. Remember, there was it was very tense, and he hit Aguilar like 2-3 plays in a row, 10-yard, 10-yard, 10-yard.
He was unbelievable.
Then you kind of went, okay, we're going to win this game. But
yes,
man, that's when the Rams were really good. They were really.
Oh
good.
yeah, well, I mean, the next year they went to the Super Bowl. That year they had to go to the playoffs. I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that game was to depend first seed, right? We won that game to clinch the first seed. So and they were kind of that was the other team that were the number 2 seed and everything. So that was a great Rams team. We beat them 43-35.
Yeah.
And then the next year I remember also being great. 2018, the year they went to the Super Bowl. We
beat them late.
You were in Texas. You were on a business trip. You're on a work trip.
Yeah. No, I think it was in Denver.
Okay, Denver.
I think
because I was back in Phoenix. I was watching it with Aunt Margie.
Yes, I remember
Uncle Mike, Mary. We called you and we went up 21-0, 14-0. I have to double check it.
They came back.
They came back. They made it a game, and then we won it on the last play. They threw an incomplete pass.
I remember the big thing was how their coach won Coach of the Year when our coach won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was also another weird kick.
Yeah, the Coach of the Year thing is kind of weird to me. I don't really get it that much.
I mean, we wanted. Obviously, you wanted it for Dougie. We thought
he
for sure. It'd been.
I don't understand the Coach of the Year thing because now the big thing that they've talked about on like season, halfway through the season, a lot of people do their, here's the midseason predictions for the awards. And for some reason, Mike Tomlin is like, consensus top Coach of the Year. And I'm confused. I'm like, well, I don't understand why. Like, he's got an amazing defense. That's, we knew that.
That's a given.
And then they've got, good offense. It's good. It's not amazing, so I'm confused on what does it take to become Coach of the Year because, like you said, Sean McVay won it in 2017 over Doug Peterson when Doug, took his team from 7-9 to a Super Bowl win.
It's like the criterion for that changes every year. This year it's Tomlin because last year, the preseason, Pittsburgh's not going to be good this year. They're getting an old Wilson. They've got Fields, and that whole quarterback thing's kind of blown up. Who's going to be the quarterback? And boy, I'll tell you what, if you were base Coach of the Year on 4th down plays, Tomlin would be the last person to select. That was awful. You watched the game.
I saw the Fields run. Yeah,
but and it was funny because, like you say, Peterson took a team that was in the trash, and then one year did good. Next year wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So then when you win the Super Bowl, you're out of contention for the Coach of the Year now.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the Coach of the Year award is announced the day before the Super Bowl, so it's not like that. They can't go off of that. But of course, the voting ends at some point. But I don't get it. Like, and same thing with 2022.
Right,
Nick Sirianni, his second year, takes his team to the Super Bowl, and Brian Dable from the Giants won it. Yeah, and you're like.
Because they had a good playoff game the game before us. And
is it because they won a playoff game with the worst quarterback in Giants history?
I guess.
Speaking of which, news today of Daniel Jones being cut. I just don't. I'm saying I'm leaving off with this. I don't understand the Coach of the Year award. It's the only award I don't. I don't understand it at all.
Well, the other is MVP. It's just call it the quarterback, please. Yeah. Stop with he could win it. He's got a million yards receiving.
No, true.
It's only going to go to a quarterback.
No, the MVP should be the quarterback
award. It really
award.
should be.
The offensive should be any running back, wide receiver, tight end, whatever.
Name it after Darryl Lamonica or some quarterback from the 70s or 80s that was really good. And, everybody knows who he is, and call it that award. It's just weird how to do it.
I know. I agree. Okay, let's get into.
We don't want to win any awards. We want to win the Super Bowl. That's
true.
all we
You're
want.
right. That's the only award I want.
That's right.
Let's talk about some players that we're going to be on the watch for. Who do you have as
so
a player
for
to
me
watch?
this week, I'm going to be watching Nolan Smith a little bit quicker. I mean, he's been just getting better every week.
Yep.
He's some weeks, he hasn't had some sacks, but I'll tell you what, this guy plays great. He plays hard.
Oh, yeah.
The players all love him. When he gets a sack, you could see they celebrate for him. Yep. So I'm hoping that he can get off the edge this week. And the left side of the line is doing great with BG and Carter, pushing that way. And it seems like Nolan Smith can come around the backside and get the quarterback. And we're going to need some hits. We're going to need some sacks. We're going to need some just get Stafford uncomfortable. If he's comfortable in the pocket, we're in trouble.
Because he's just a great quarterback.
He's a very accurate quarterback. But prediction I have in this game, but I'll hold on that. But Nolan Smith is my guy. I'm looking for him to get 1.5 to 2 sacks in this game, and hopefully Sweat continues. But I'm going to keep a close eye on Smith because I think he's just the speed and the youth, and he's just getting better and better every week.
Yeah. The Nolan Smith, I'll say, is his effort is unquestionable. I mean, that's one of the things. Like we talk about his talent, and maybe he has underperformed as a first-round pick, yada yada. But his effort and his like drive and his heart, I would say, is unquestionable. Every play, even if he's not winning, he is giving it his all. Yes. I always talk about the one thing I hate seeing defensive linemen do is when they just, they grab on and they, bum rush, try to do one thing or another. They don't really try, and you're like, what are you doing? And that's what makes a guy like Micah Parsons so good. When you see him pass rush, he doesn't just do this. He goes, he'll swing his arms around, he'll spin move, he'll move around. It's 100%.
Yes.
And that's what I see in Nolan Smith. I don't want to, compare him to Micah. He's, not as good as that.
You're saying,
but that's the thing I like about Nolan Smith. You never see him just go one way. He's nope, club rip, spin move, swim. Like it's just nonstop. He'll keep going, and I love that about him.
Well, plus the great thing about him is he doesn't just go, he's not a sack guy only. He'll run around the corner and he'll pick a guy from behind. He'll tackle that guy out in the flat. He just, I don't know.
He's great against the run.
I know he hasn't gotten the numbers and things like that people are gonna talk about, but he just adds a big part to the offense. Now we got Cooper and Quinion and Carter.
Yes,
but he's one of those guys, and Bond. But he's part of that whole cog. He's one of the cogs in the machine, and I'm hoping that he can get. Just something to where he's got at the end of the season, he's got a 6 or an 8 sack season.
That's
so
great.
that, he can stop worrying about that whole first round pick thing.
True. You're right.
Because he was bad early on.
Yeah. My player to watch, this is a surprise. I'm calling this.
Okay.
Right? My player to watch is Jahan Dotson.
Okay.
Now I know. I know. Now I know he's going to press the laugh button. We don't do that. We don't even use that thing. I'm choosing Jahan Dotson. Now, we obviously know Devonta Smith's out. It's very frustrating.
Awesome.
It's very upsetting.
Not good.
Not good. But Jahan Dotson, I'm calling it. I'm saying, the last few weeks, month or so, he's picked it up. He had a big catch against the Jags, good catch against Dallas. He only had one catch last week, one target, yada, yada. But I say this. I think this is the game. And if it's not, there never will be one.
Right.
Like, to me, he had his opportunities early.
Right.
The Tampa game, AJ and Devontae hadn't played. The Saints game, AJ didn't play. Devonta came out early. There's been his chances, and he hasn't really done it. And I'm saying this: if it's not this game, it's never. So it has to be this game.
Well, I agree with you because early in the season when guys were out, he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to the whole JR world back in the day when Rager was playing and everybody was out. And you think a player should at least get 4 or 5 targets and they get none. And you're like, what is happening here? So, I don't want to compare him to him, but you know what I'm saying.
Of course not. No, I know
but when a player like that is out, you need someone else to step up. And if he's not going to step up, a former first-round pick, let's just start developing Aeneas Smith or Johnny Wilson, somebody else, because he's got to pick it up. It's got to be this week
at some point. And I think to me, if it's not this one, it's never. So it's got to be this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some big matchups. I know you had a prediction first. Do you want to do that, or do you want to talk about the matchups first?
Well, my prediction is only, or I don't know what you call it, but I have a feeling we're going to get a few picks in this game. That's what I'm seeing.
I like it.
I'm seeing a lot of pressure from the interior line and some of the outside line. That's why I want Nolan Smith to do his thing and to force Stafford into a couple picks.
Okay.
It's because it's something we haven't seen this year. We've got picks, but one here, one there. We need a multi-pick game. I think, and Quinion, if we want him to be the rookie, the defensive rookie, that he needs to get some interceptions. If it's not him, we need a CJ or a Blankenship to keep, Reed's got to start. He's got 3 already. We just need some numbers is what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But, I would like to see – I think we're going to get some picks if we can get that early rush on Stafford and make him uncomfortable.
Okay, gotcha. I like it.
I think so.
Yep. Let's talk about the matchup. So offensive first. We'll start with the offense. Offensively, Rams defense, it's pretty middle of the pack. I wouldn't say they're not really last in anything, but they're pretty low. Total yards, they're 25th. They let up 223 in the pass, and they're 18th against the run. They let up 127.3. Obviously, we're the best running team right now. So, this could be one of those matchups where, they're not good, and they are good, but not sure. We'll see. But, it's a team you can really move the ball against. You can run and you can pass. So this isn't really that good of a defense. Like I said, middle of the pack and lower tier in the 25th with total yards. Third down percentage, they're 16th, and points, they're 22nd. So, This is a defense that we should be able to score and
middle
move
of
the ball
pack,
against
lower
a
of the
lot.
pack, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Next, I have they have an okay pass rush. Now when I say okay pass rush, I mean they have 27 sacks I think right now. 21 sacks. So that's also not really up in the top.
Right.
They don't really they're not getting there that much, and they don't have a player with over 6 sacks on the season. Now the funny thing is, we on the season have 28 sacks. And I think we also don't have a guy over 6 sacks.
No.
That's Josh Sweat's our most.
Yes.
So, it's not an incredible team. They have Jared Verse as a defensive end. He's looking like the favorite to win the defensive rookie of the year.
Right. They have 2 rookies on that line from what I remember.
Okay.
The Verse and another guy.
Okay.
I don't know his name.
No clue.
I heard him talk about it. But no, so when you see he's a rookie, you kind of go, okay, he's got the spunk, he's got the speed, he's got the youth, but he's never seen an offensive line like us. So hopefully we can continue to shut him down. Now, does he play? Do you know if he plays off Mailata's side or Johnson?
Okay. No clue. Doesn't matter if we have those 2 tackles playing.
I agree.
I mean, no, I'm just kidding. But I'm sorry, I misquoted. They don't have 21 sacks. That was for the offense. They have 27 sacks. So we have 20. We have 28. They have 27. So this is around kind of the same skill as us as far as sacks go. They get back there, enough, not top tier, not top 5, top 10, but they get their sacks and everything like that. So as far as turnovers, I don't think they get too many turnovers either. Possibly 13, I think I had up here. As far as interceptions, I might not have the entire.
Right.
Let me see all team stats.
But yeah, that's a big thing. Like you say, I heard a lot of talk about Verse, and he's really played well. I don't know how many sacks he has, but I'm guessing he's close to 5 or 6.
4.5.
So I mean, he's kind of in contention with some of the guys we have there. So, but yeah, we give up sacks early in the game, so hopefully that's another thing to look for. If we can keep them away from Hurts early in the game and get through that first quarter, whatever, that would be a big thing.
So let's get to our defensive matchup. So obviously the big one, the main one that we know going into this game, they have some amazing wide receivers. Some of the probably up there with us as a top wide receiver duo in the league. You talk about AJ and Devonta. They got Cooper Rush and Puka Nacua, and I should said Puka's name first because he's number 1 really.
Yeah.
They're both really great. They're both on an amazing track in their careers. Obviously, Cooper already been a Super Bowl MVP and has been amazing.
Yes.
And Puka Nacua has been great the last 2 seasons already.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal for our young, defensive backs. Obviously, we're bringing
it's
Slay
going
into
to
the
be our
game.
first really, really good test, I think.
I would
to
say
see
it's
where we sit,
yeah.
especially, again, early in the game to see what's happening. If they're picking us apart, that could tell us something. But the difference between their wide receivers and ours is, AJ's obviously a big body guy, and they're just speedy guys. They're just drop over the middle, hit them on the fly. So hopefully we can set a zone up or something like that with maybe a cover man to lock down one of them with Quinion.
Yes.
And then hopefully we can just have some guys. That's why I'm thinking of interceptions, because I'm thinking some tip balls, as long as our guys continue to kind of predict where he's going to throw it.
Yes.
Baun has got great sense to know where he's going. So does Nakobe, and then so does Cooper. So hopefully we can, that would be a big thing to see.
Definitely. And the big thing for us defensively as well, not just our backside, is going to be our pass rush. Stafford's only been sacked 4 times in the last 4 games. He's the 8th least sacked quarterback in the league. He's only been sacked 21 times, like I mentioned before. And, this is going to be a big deal. They don't have an all-pro offensive line, but they get their job done. They're doing their jobs, and they're keeping their quarterback safe. In those last 4 games, 3 of the games he was sacked 0 times. One of them he was sacked 4 times. So not too, that's a kind of, you go with the median there, or the mean, the average of that. But yeah, no, this is a team that protects their quarterback pretty well. He gets the ball out fast. As far as their offense, total yards, they're exactly middle of the pack. They're 16th, 351 per game, but passing yards, they're 7th. The rest of the offense is lower. They're 26th in rushing yards, 21st in points, and 27th in third down percentage. So really the strength of their offense is the pass game.
Right.
They have a pretty good running back there. He hasn't had a great season. He's only averaging 3.9, but that doesn't mean he's not good. Last year
he's had some good games too.
Yeah, and last year he averaged 5 yards a carry, so he was pretty darn good.
So that just kind of shows you, we need him to be in 2nd and 9,
absolutely,
third and 12, and hopefully we can continue the success we've had the last 5-6 weeks now with, our third down conversion.
Yeah, third down
and just knocking these guys off the ball like they've been doing.
Third down for us on defense is 9th in the league at 34.7.
But you throw away those first 4 games, and I guarantee you we are.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
that's the thing.
I'm sure it changed completely. Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of seems like this is really one of the biggest tests we'll face so far.
But then once we beat them, then they're going to say, well, they're
not good.
Yeah, they're not good. You guys didn't play anybody yet, but we don't care about that. We play who's in front of us, and hopefully we can continue to what we're doing. I just want to see the defense get better and better. Offense, I'm hoping we continue to get better and better, but the defense, from what I've seen, they've been just going up and up.
Great.
The offense still sluggish, but one of these games, right?
Yeah,
maybe this is the game.
Hopefully, we for those of you watching and listening, we talk about it off screen, and something I hate more than anything in the world, the worst thing you can say in a debate about a football team is, "Oh, you guys haven't beaten anybody," or "You guys haven't played anybody," or I just think it's the dumbest thing you can say, because I didn't make the schedule, neither did the team. Your team, you play who you play, you beat who you beat, and the other worst thing is, when a good team beats a bad team by 4 points, it's
what happened?
Man, they barely won.
Barely
but
won.
then when a good team wins 28-3 against the New York Giants,
you're just
just you're beating
you're running
beating a bad team. Yeah. No, not even running the score up. We could have killed them, but you're beating a bad team. Well,
what am I supposed to do?
What are you supposed? Like, good teams beat bad teams, and good teams beat bad teams big.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
true, yes.
It's just it's frustrating to me when I hear the whole you haven't played anybody. Well, neither has anybody.
Right.
I mean,
right.
And everybody's only played one good team.
Right.
Then I mean, it's just every year you're going to realize by the end of the season, there's only 7 good teams in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like there really is.
Yeah.
Some half of the teams, 14 teams make the playoffs, right? 7 on each side.
Yes.
So 18 teams don't make the playoffs.
Right.
So more than half of the teams in the NFL right away, they're really not that good. Then you go into the playoffs and one team gets killed 32-9, like the Eagles last year, and you go, "Oh, well, they weren't really good." Well,
no.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
That's true.
There's always a team or two that gets in the playoffs, and they're 9-7, 10-6, 8-9.
Biggest thing is you got to win the games in November, and you got to win the games in December.
It's the games in January and February, but but I mean,
just to get to position where you want to be. And right now we're doing that. We're winning in October and November, and we'll continue this week. Hopefully.
So if you're watching or listening, please just stop using the whole "you haven't played anybody" as a thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone's played. When we beat the Saints, they were the greatest team in NFL history at that point. Now they're terrible. I mean, it's too much. When we beat the Packers, they went on a run where they really weren't that good, and their quarterback was throwing 2 interceptions a game. Now they're good again. And now Washington, they were considered great. We beat them, and now everyone's they're kind of not that.
They're not where they were.
You can't do it anymore.
That was a great beatdown.
Just stop. Stop with the no one played anybody. No one's played anybody until they get to the playoffs. No one's played anybody. True. Okay, injuries. This is the frustrating thing about this week. Devonta Smith officially going to be out this game. He hasn't practiced all week because of a hamstring. This one stinks.
It does.
This is. It just
only because last week it's not like he had 10 catches. And
the last 2 games he's been pretty
quiet.
Pretty quiet, which is frustrating. It's very frustrating. This is not something you like to see. But I'm going to say this as well. As much as I don't like people saying you haven't beaten anybody, you don't get to use injuries as an excuse. We're going to this game.
That's right.
We have A.J. Brown. We have Dallas Goedert. We have Saquon Barkley. We have Grant Calcaterra.
Yes,
and you traded for Jahan Dotson, who's supposed to do something.
Yes.
So
and you got Barkley out of the backfield catching or running.
Yeah, so for me, it's just, there's no excuses. It stinks that he's going to be out. He's the only guy listed as out. But it's frustrating.
Especially after the long break we've had, like that mini bye.
That's the most frustrating thing about it.
So, now he's off another week. We need him to be ready next week, which would be great. But, hamstrings can linger on.
Man, it seems like they have been a huge thing this year for wide receivers.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's more than in past.
It's been really bad.
Because you had Goddard out for weeks. You had AJ out.
Yeah.
Smith.
Mailata with
the hamstring.
It stinks,
for 4 weeks.
Dude. Yeah. It's frustrating. Big names that we had not practiced throughout the week, though. Covey is back as a full participant. We don't know if he's playing, but he was a full participant all week. Nakobe Dean was limited early on, but then was full. Jalix Hunt didn't participate the first day, but he came through on Friday. He's probably going to be playing. Hurts, of course, was listed. They put him on a lower body strengthening
Yes, I heard about
regimen program, kind of get his ankle and hamstrings back and everything.
Then he got, what's his name out? Or Huff out. He got the surgery. So
of course. He's already been placed on IR,
so
right?
Hopefully Hunt can play, but I heard he had practiced a couple days ago.
Well, he's a full participant. He'll be playing.
Today,
He'll be playing, yeah. And then Milton Williams, he was limited at times, but he was full today.
Yeah, what did he do?
Good to go. That was a foot. I think it had something to do with his toe, I think.
Hopefully he's going to be okay. I mean, you're always hoping that 10-day break, that mini bye, if you will.
That's
after they make you play on the Thursday night game. You hope that everybody comes back healthy, and it's just not happening.
That's the other big thing about the Thursday night. You'd think, all right, now everyone's going to be healthy by the next game, and then Devonta's out. And you're like,
well, hopefully Covey, if he does play, hopefully, we could use him for short passes, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, we want to get Cooper to stop returning punts, even though he's fantastic at it.
Oh, I know. I agree.
I just get Covey back there again and kind of give the workload to Cooper so he can continue to grow in the defensive play, defensive back, and not have to worry about punts. But we'll see what happens there. But
let's see. All right, and then on their injury report for the Rams, only person they listed as out is their defensive back, Charles Woods. Don't know too much about him. I'm looking him up real quick just to kind of see. He's a defensive back. Looks like mostly likely plays corner and safety. Yeah, he's a rookie. He's an undrafted rookie for this year, so probably not the biggest loss for them.
Yeah.
And then they had a doubtful and an offensive tackle, Rob Havenstein, and out for they had 2 guys out, and another offensive lineman, KT Leviston. So
I've heard Havenstein. He's been around.
I know the name, yeah. So that could be a big deal. That's a tackle on their offensive line. I don't know too much about their starting depth chart or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we could all come on, guys.
I know.
I'm an Eagles fan. What are we doing here? I'm just kidding now.
No, but I mean it's good to know if it's usually you're going to hear it from the when they talk about.
So it looks like Havenstein's their starting right tackle. Okay, so that's a big one.
That is a big one. I know he's a starter. Yeah,
they had Kevin Dotson listed. He was out, or sorry, he missed a couple days of practice this week, but he's not listed as out for the game. And what was the other name I said? Leviston.
Yes.
I don't even see his name on their depth chart, so I don't even know. Unless he was a defensive tackle. Yeah, or no.
But it's funny, injury report's funny, too, because all of a sudden the guy that they say might not play is playing, and he plays great, and a guy that's not even touched is hurt in the first play of the game. So.
True. Frustrating, especially if you play fantasy football. Definitely frustrating.
Yes.
When George Kittle's,
out
named out
2 hours
before the game, and you're like, well, I got to go pick up a tight end now.
Right. I didn't even hear he was going to be. I didn't even hear he was hurt.
Kind of frustrating,
It is tough.
Okay, this time we're going to take a real quick break and remind you to please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or something like that, please rate and subscribe. Let us know what you like. You can always send us an email at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. Dad, let's talk about some other games going into the weekend. So, big meaningful. What's up?
It's not. Well, I'm just going to say it's not a big weekend of games.
Oh, it's definitely not
that.
No, it's not at all.
Interconference or divisional games.
No, it's actually
like last week there was.
This is going to be a quick one because number one, the Lions and Colts. The Lions are favored by over a touchdown, so
okay.
I'm not. There's nothing really to talk about there. The Lions are going to continue looking for their number one seed.
Yes.
Eagles fans are going to keep on hoping for them to lose that number one seed so we can get it. But I don't see that happening.
Philly Talk Radio is going to keep saying the Eagles are a better team, but we'll wait and see about that in January.
Absolutely. Next one, Cowboys and Commanders. So this is kind of the only real, I think, maybe the only division. No, there's a few other, but really the only one for us division game that matters. Commanders, that's a team that kind of worries me because, over these next few weeks, over the next 4 weeks, we have the Rams, of course, this weekend, the Ravens, then we play the Panthers, and then we play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
3 teams that you consider to be pretty good teams. One's the Panthers. You don't, think too much of them, but you can't overlook them.
No.
But in that 4-week span, the Commanders, they're going to be playing the Cowboys.
Right.
They got a bye week. They play the Saints. They play the Titans. So before playing us, they kind of have a 3-game run of easy teams.
Right.
And or I guess I shouldn't say easy teams.
No, but
you beat who you beat.
That's right. But we have a game and a half lead. We'd like to maintain that.
Absolutely.
Lead.
So we do need to see the Commanders drop one to one of these teams.
At least they're not playing the Giants, who have just totally given up on their season.
Yeah,
so that's big.
I know.
Yeah. We do have them. I'm sure they play them again. But
we don't like to ever root for the Cowboys. We always want them to lose out, but we could use some help here.
But the rooting guide would be to cheer for that they beat the Commanders this weekend.
I guess you wouldn't say you would cheer for either one. You would just kind of go, whatever happens.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Another big game for the conference, Vikings and the Bears are going to be playing. This one's somewhat exciting because I don't think the Vikings are what their record shows. And I know we say you are what your record is, but I don't know. I'm not too high on them. The Bears, I'm definitely not very high on.
No, and they've dropped so hard. And it's so
harshly, too.
So many preseason picks with a rookie quarterback, which to me is ridiculous. But to pick a team like that to go to the Super Bowl is just silly.
Playoffs,
But they've really shat the bed, if you will. Pretty bad. But
this is a PG.
I know they've played
podcast. That
that's why I use the past.
That's fair. That's fair.
But they've really.
They fell off a cliff.
It's awful. Yeah,
they did.
And if they can actually beat the Vikings, who really kind of squeaked by last week, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Didn't they write the Colts like 12-7 or something?
No, the Titans.
Yeah, 12-7.
No, that was the Jags. You're on a whole other week.
I am on the wrong.
I know you're always on the wrong. No, last week they beat the Titans 23-13. The week before that they beat the Jags 12-7. It was the worst game in NFL
But even
history.
last week's game, they barely pulled that out. They just don't look like the team that they were 8-2 or whatever it was at the beginning of the season. So
a big division game between the Broncos and the Raiders. The Broncos are really looking to push their way into the playoffs this year. Raiders are looking to push their way to the first overall pick. Try to possibly get.
What is their record right now?
2-8.
Jeez,
yeah, they're
every year, man.
Bo
Nix, baby. Bo has played well. He has played.
Right now they're the 7th spot in the AFC wild card.
He's played well,
and he's played really well. He kind of it feels like he's kind of overtaken Jaden Daniels, offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
I think he kind of
the hype train.
He's especially if he makes the playoffs and Washington doesn't.
Yeah,
if a rookie quarterback takes his team to the playoffs and another one doesn't, the rookie quarterback with the playoffs wins.
Especially a team that's been down for years.
Oh yeah,
and got rid of Wilson and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
but they played well. Last week was a pretty defining win. They won big. So
destroyed the Falcons.
Yeah,
which the Falcons. You're starting to get to the point where you're like, oh,
well, it's starting to weed out. That's
maybe we should have won that freaking game if we run the ball.
But that's what's starting to. The cream is rising to the top, or whatever you want to call it. You could see the teams that aren't that good are just dropping off the cliff.
Yep. Another big division game between the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
That'll be a good watch.
That division's crazy. The NFC West.
Yes, NFC West.
Right now in the standings there. What we took in it? I'm sorry. We're looking at
6-4.
Cardinals
are
still
5-5, I think.
5-4
maybe.
Cardinals. Oh, I clicked on AFC. Yeah. Sorry. Cardinals are definitely in the lead at 6-4, and every other team is 5-5. That's crazy.
It's only a half-game lead, really.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, so that's a big one. If we were to beat the Rams, and I wonder what has to happen. I don't know the math too well.
It's too early for that, but
if we were to beat the Rams,
3 or 4 game lead.
If we were to beat the Rams and the Seahawks were to beat the Cardinals, the Seahawks become the leader of the division, right?
Right.
No matter what the Niners do, I think. I don't know for sure.
They looked okay last week. They pulled the game out. At least.
Seahawks, yeah.
They did pull the game out against the Niners, and the Niners are a good team.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I know you know. You go off reputation from last year. I know.
Yeah. No, I can't say they're. I can't say they're a good team. But
I guess
no team's a good team.
Yeah, I would say they're a little scary, in my opinion. Yeah. They keep saying they're going to be getting healthy. I've been watching McCaffrey get 3.8 yards a carry, and he just doesn't look the same, even though he's come back a few weeks now.
I'm sure next season he'll be more healthy and be back to usual.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, speaking of, that takes us to the next game, the Niners and Packers. One of the three. Those are three really good afternoon games.
I agree.
That's all late, and they're all nice. No, they're not division, but yeah, Broncos Raiders is afternoon. Cardinal Seahawks, and then Niners Packers. So yeah, that's a good run of afternoon games. I'm excited for that. But yeah, Niners Packers. So Packers kind of look to end the Niners season just like the Niners ended their season last year.
Right.
I think the statistics show that or the statistics and math of it is if the Niners lose, they only have a 17% chance of making the playoffs. Something like that.
Right.
So you'd like to see that happen.
I agree. I can't.
Yeah. Hate the Niners.
There's no other team.
It's kind of it's funny.
It's a love-hate.
I always talk about how funny it is when things change. We root for the Niners to lose every week except for when they play Dallas. We're huge Niners fans.
Yes.
And then last year, I was rooting for the Packers to beat the Niners in the playoffs, but I can't tell you how many times I was rooting for the Niners to beat the Packers when Rodgers was there because I hated Rodgers.
Right.
It's just funny how quick it can change. Like I hated the Packers so much in the 2010s that I was cheering for the Niners were always beating them, and I loved it. And now it's the exact opposite.
Speaking of Rodgers, no, we don't have to go there. Let's continue.
To the Jets, I think they're in a bye this week.
Goodness gracious, they're just pathetic.
It's like it's not. I can't say it's sad,
but they were my Super Bowl pick in the beginning of the year.
Shut up! No.
What are you doing?
All right,
Brew. Ridiculous, man.
That's funny. I know.
Okay.
All right, let's get into some other sports. So the Sixers, they're 2-12, horrible season. Did you see the kind of drama that happened?
No,
at all. No, I know you don't follow
I don't
it, but.
Follow it.
I'll enlighten you and our listeners.
Okay, go ahead.
Listening. Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid.
I did hear that. Yes.
Oh, then why'd you say you didn't hear it?
Because now you told me what it was. I heard some talk on that.
So he called him out that he was late to everything, and then Embiid, two reporters said whoever leaked that is kind of a piece of dookie.
Garbage.
So yeah, it's not good to see Embiid starting to get to that point where I truly believe he could be I think he's one of the greatest scorers of basketball ever. I think he could be one of the greatest scorers, I should say, and just refuses to have the attitude and the care.
That's half the thing.
It is.
You gotta have that.
It just doesn't seem like the care isn't there, the heart isn't there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can be proven wrong, and one day he turns it around. But I just don't know.
But he might not be playing for Philly at the time.
I really don't think he will be. It's a bummer. They're playing the Nets right now in Philly. It's tied 55-55.
I saw last night that they lost.
Yeah.
Threw it on.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's bad. Yeah. It's really bad. I mean, the only good thing is Jared McCain looks really good. That's a rookie that we drafted. He's looked really good, averaging 20.
Wow.
Let me see. I'm sorry. That's averaging only 15.6 points per game. But I saw there was a time where he was, for a few games, 27, 23, 34, 29. So it's good to see him playing well. And we also have Maxey for the future. So that's
2-12 is pretty bad, though.
Yeah, about to be 2-13, I'm assuming. But. And then Penn State ranked 4th going into Minnesota this weekend. They end off with a pretty, Minnesota and Maryland, two teams that are unranked and will not be ranked.
Yeah, last week's game was kind of a slaughter. They looked They looked good.
So, if you win the next 2 games, you're in the playoffs. I don't know what ranking. I don't know if they change the numbers around.
That would be kind of fun around the holidays.
That would be cool. I mean, it's going to be cool. It's not going to, I don't believe it's going to result in anything. But still, it's cool. Yeah, it's going to be nice to see them in the playoffs. And like you said, it's around the holidays.
Well, maybe win the first round and
Maybe.
I'll see. Yeah,
no,
I don't know about that, but
All right, you got anything else, my friend?
No.
All righty.
Very good.
You can say our goodbyes here. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Comment down below anything you'd like to say about the score prediction or players going off or what you like coming up. Email us your questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles fly.